fun news. Bernie Sanders has convinced Howard Schultz to come testify in front of the Help Committee, which he chairs in the Senate. It is... Where the heck did I get that? I don't have my write-up on it. But here is Bernie Sanders announcing it. And let's see.
Let us be very clear. In the United States of America, workers have the constitutional right to organize unions and engage in collective bargaining to improve their wages and their working conditions. Unfortunately, Starbucks, under Mr. Schultz's leadership, has done everything in their power to prevent that from happening. The National Labor Relations Board has issued over 80 complaints against Starbucks for violating federal labor law, and an administrative law judge in New York recently ruled that Starbucks has engaged in, quote, egregious and widespread misconduct, end quote, in a union organizing campaign.
Is he bringing in front of the Help Committee? What is that? The
Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions.
Yeah. And on March 29th. So we're going to, I don't know, we may take some of that live.
Yeah, we should.
And Sanders wants to bring in folks from Amazon.
He was also thinking the CEO of Moderna.
The CEO of Moderna for the price gouging that they're engaged in. He's going off on this. This is going to be his next 2-year project. And the thing that's going to be interesting about this, too, is Howard Schultz. Like, your first reaction is, oh, well... Howard Schultz isn't going to do anything. Like, what is Sanders doing getting Schultz? And what difference is it going to make? But here's the thing. Schultz is coming in there with one of the largest sense that he is infallible relative to his fallibility that I think we're going to see in a long time in a committee hearing. This is not a guy who's going to come in and say all the right things. This is a guy who's going to come in who thinks that he knows better than Sanders. This is a guy who's coming in thinking, I'm going to embarrass Bernie Sanders. And this is a guy who literally paid millions of dollars for people to pitch to him, why don't you run on a solution that risks the imagination of a new kind of possibility? That is what one of the...
And maybe we need a solution to it that risks the imagination of a new kind of possibility.
And, to be clear, that was like Bill... What was that guy's name? Burton? Was that his name?
Burton, yeah.
Bill Burton. Bill Burton and Steve Schmidt, was it? They got paid millions of dollars each to advise Howard Schultz on running for president. And Howard Schultz, his campaign flamed out immediately. And this is a guy who went in front of Starbucks workers when they first deployed him out to stop this union movement, and he was so convinced that he could do it. Starbucks is like a family. I'm reminded of the story from the Holocaust, in the Warsaw Ghetto, where people were sharing blankets. And that's what we do here at Starbucks. And if you get a union, you're going to be not sharing blankets. It's going to be like being in the Holocaust without a blanket. I am looking forward to that committee hearing.
It's going to be awesome.
Because I get news for you. There is no one around Howard Schultz who is saying, you got to take this seriously because they could get at you. No one's saying that to him. No one's saying that to him. Howard Schultz thinks that he can go in there and he's gonna talk his way out of this. It's gonna be amazing.
And I often think of the pressure Howard Schultz feels from his other sort of oligarchs to get his house in order with regards to punishing their labor, because I'm somebody, I didn't work for Starbucks, but I worked for Caribou Coffee, and I moved from Old Navy to Caribou Coffee because I liked I guess the idea of it seemed like a better job and maybe with better pay and better hours. This all has a wider effect than just Starbucks, I think.